Did you know we have access to a massive fusion nuclear reactor that we're choosing to ignore? It's actually been around for a while, and it has the opportunity to provide sustainable, clean energy for our city for years to come. It's called the sun. With over 300 days of sunshine and roofs flatter than Texas, why aren't we using this resource effectively? Let's look at the facts. We know that solar energy is actually cheaper than conventional energy options. And we know that the solar industry creates more jobs and better long-term markets than conventional energy. The benign rhetoric and false conviction around the solar industry, put forward by politicians and lobbyists for the last decade and a half, has left us with subsidies and incentives that don't actually make solar feasible for the majority of the private sector. And we haven't had governmental agencies show leadership and really push forward. Let's actually walk the walk and make this a reality for our city. But wait, isn't this technology improving rapidly? Shouldn't we wait until it gets even better? I mean, yes, technology is getting exponentially better. But how long did I wait to get a computer? I didn't, because it's a utility I need now, and the alternatives aren't good enough. We can always replace this infrastructure as new alternatives become available and it pays for itself. But what we never get to do is put finite resources back in the ground. We need to move especially quickly because fracking is knocking on our county's door, happening in neighboring communities. We have to make the right choices for ourselves, economically and environmentally, by pursuing green industry, not destroying our lands. So if the time is really now, how are we going to pay for it? The answer might be simpler than you think. If what our city needs are upfront dollars to make the investment to build the physical infrastructure to forever change our independence and future as a city, then we're going to source those dollars from a new industry that doesn't yet exist here, but has a promising and great future for us. We're going to legalize marijuana as a city first.
You can do that?
Yeah, well, kind of. It's the same gamble Colorado made, but on a different scale. If we as a city decide to legalize marijuana, the state is probably going to sue us under something called home rule in the state's constitution. And that's fine. You can keep anything in the courts for a year. And 1 year is all we need to entirely change our green energy future, as well as see a substantial shift in the governing body of the state. It's simple. We're going to go green to go green. Even while it's deliberated in the courts, we can be a fully functioning legalized municipality that gets to decide where every cent of tax revenue goes. And every cent of tax revenue for a full year will go towards the production and installation of renewable energy infrastructure. By legalizing it as a city first, we get to bypass nasty and unethical lobbying ongoing to create corporate footholds in an industry that should be an economic stabilizer for communities previously and unfairly incarcerated and targeted by punitive and regressive drug laws. For that year, every county in the state will be spending dollars in Albuquerque. Flagstaff, El Paso will be spending dollars in Albuquerque. And we won't see any of the massive changes Colorado saw, because we're not the first to do it. And that's a big part of it. We're not the first to do it. And as soon as we wait for the state to do it, or the federal government, we're losing opportunities. This industry creates jobs at every education level and can reclaim old and costly infrastructure like the empty jail downtown to create cooperative grow houses. So now we've created a new economic market that reduces criminalization, stops marginalizing lower SES communities, boosts tourism, and creates jobs at every level, all to pay for green energy. Furthermore, we create a place to invest dollars in physical infrastructure to reduce the gentrification sometimes seen in real estate in other places that have legalized marijuana. Similarly, as we invest in green energy, we create an immediate installation job market at a living wage and with low barriers to employment. We will cultivate an entire long-term, technologically innovative industry, bringing a cluster of private sector investors and groups, and becoming a world leader in more than just the production of photovoltaic cells. After the Paris Accord pullout, we have the opportunity to cooperate internationally to help fund this project. We can work with China in our EB5 conference, or reach out to Germany, the two world leaders in solar cell production. For the first time, mayors can cooperate directly, internationally. And so we build for our futures, because there's no reason not to. And when we do this, we create an industry cooperative to employ as many groups as possible to get the job done. This will garner national attention and support, help stabilize at-risk communities, and give us a viable future in one of the Southwest's most promising industries. So relax. With your vote on October 3rd, the grass can be greener on the other side.